New on CuriosityStream.
Just because it hasn't been done before doesn't mean you can't.
Watch Earth's greatest minds forge our path to a better tomorrow. It's engineering the future. And Jaws, Star Wars, The Godfather, E.T. The biggest movies have even bigger music. From King Kong to The Dark Knight. See how musicians scored Hollywood's greatest hits on great film composers' music of the movies. Watch now on CuriosityStream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit CuriosityStream.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
What's up? It's your boy, The Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Stephen Throwhill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. And today we toast actress and comedian Emily Ramirez. You might not know her by name, might recognize her face. And it's not for anything in particular that she's done, but she recently went on the Tickety Talks, and she asked her followers, basically, just to share moments where good deeds have gone wrong. And she shared one of her more memorable experiences, which I find quite funny. Now, she's a performer, she's a comedian, she's an actress, and back in the old days, she actually performed as Morticia Addams in like a musical version of the Addams Family.
It was on Broadway.
Okay, so this plays into the story. So in this case, one time she volunteered to sing at a children's hospital, and it's for the immunocompromised teenage patient, asked her to sing the song Just Around the Corner from the Addams Family. Apparently it's this patient's favorite song. And she says, hey, previously I played Morticia Addams in that version of the show. She was excited over the request because she actually knows the song, right? Nothing you had to learn. So she goes to this hospital, and there's this very sick kid. He's there with his mom, and there's other patients around as well. And she starts singing a song, and the kid's pretty happy because this is, for whatever reason, one of his favorite songs. But as she's singing it, she starts getting mortified because she realizes now the course of the song is coming up. Now, keep in mind where they are. They're in the immunocompromised division. These are teens that are not doing great. Course of the song is, quote, death is just around the corner, waiting patiently to strike. She's still saying the lyrics. So clearly not great for a room full of sick people. But she says, that's the whole song. I didn't want to stop singing because it's the patient's favorite song, and it makes her happy. And that's what I'm there for, but everyone else is looking at me like I'm a psychopath. She was very mortified by the whole thing, but I appreciate it. Again, the chorus is, death is just around the corner, waiting patiently to strike. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, good for her for knowing the song, but
she just didn't think.
I can't imagine the lead up and then realizing, like, oh, I got to sing this lyric.
Right, she said the worst part is, as you're singing, like, in your head, kind of like, oh, God, but she didn't want to stop singing it, so she just sang it, did her best, packed up, and got the hell out. I'm glad I'm not her. So we pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy!
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies. Down the hola bichola.
You know it's Bad Choice Friday. It's Bad Choice Friday. You know it's Bad Choice Friday. Hey, man, this is your fault.
All right, Bad Choice Friday, we dealt with rain. Yay. Milli Vanilli and Blame It on the Rain taking on Eddie Rabbit in I Love a Rainy Night. Mike, how was the voting?
It was a good matchup today, Miles, and we've heard stories about accidents today, some about floods, which is why today we're going to blame it all on the rain, man.
Milli
Vanilli is the winner.
That took out the rabbit.
You gotta be kidding me.
It was a close one.
Damn. Okay.
New on CuriosityStream.
Just because it hasn't been done before doesn't mean you can't.
Watch Earth's greatest minds forge our path to a better tomorrow. It's engineering the future. And Jaws, Star Wars, The Godfather, E.T. The biggest movies have even bigger music. From King Kong to The Dark Knight. See how musicians scored Hollywood's greatest hits on great film composers' music of the movies. Watch now on CuriosityStream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit CuriosityStream.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Well, great balls of fire, Bubba. What happened, Bilford? That crazy son of a Sal blew right through that four-way stop on Main Street and plowed into my cowboy Cadillac.
Your what?
My pickup truck. And I'm pretty sure my leg is broken, Ted.
Oh, quit your bitching, Buford, and talk with those side busters at the Advocates Law Firm. When I got busted up last month, well, shoot, they made sure those snakes at the insurance company played fair.
Boy, howdy. Even that creepy so-and-so Kyle earned his keep.
So if you get injured, the advocates get results. AdvocatesLaw.com.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Now for all TV news all the time, it is time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, The Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
I saw you getting that water in quick, bro.
You know what?
I know it is your habit, but it seemed like you forgot until the last second.
I did. But then I was like, I gotta have a sip of water.
I know.
Not that I'm thirsty, it's just what I do.
I know. It's like a baseball player, right? It's just your superstition, like, this is what I do to have a good look. And I was just shocked out of the corner of my eye that you hadn't done it yet. That's all.
I barely got that sip
And then
in.
I saw you racing to do it, and I'm like, okay, he's tracking.
All right, your choices tonight. You're going to have the Jimmys?
Jimmy Fallon and Jimmy Kimmel.
You're going to have Seth Meyers?
Seth Meyers.
Or Ted Smith?
Is it Ted or is it late night?
It is right there in the title. All these guys have teams of professional writers that come up with their monologues each and every night. It is up to you to determine, is this an actual late-night joke, and from whom, or could it be the Ted Smith original?
Just on a quick side note, I'm beginning to believe that Ted actually does this segment because he's trying to get off the show. He wants to get paid as a writer, right? You are honing your skill. I see what you're up to.
No, he's trying to be a late-night talk show host.
He's honing his skills, right, to get the hell out of it.
Yeah.
That's crazy. He does it on the air in front of everyone.
How can you blame him?
What a son
If you could take a late-night joke, I'd be the hell out of here in a second.
Sometimes you got to hide in plain sight.
That's right.
Well done, friend. Well done.
Reports say that Kim Kardashian is hunkering down at home, transforming her diet and working out twice a day since the announcement of her divorce. So watch out, NBA players.
Ted Smith.
Yep. All right, that was me. Let me try that one again.
No, still fun. Still funny.
I don't know if you guys saw this, but Kim Kardashian is reportedly hunkering down at home, transforming her diet and working out twice a day since the announcement of her divorce. In related news, viewership for the NBA is up this year.
Honestly, I thought you were going to drop a Drake joke.
Like, I know it's you because I know you, but still good. Solid stuff, man. And you're right.
Kanye West and Kim Kardashian are preparing to file for divorce. Well, I hope they both take a long, good look in the mirror. Oh, they will? They do that every day? This might have been the whole problem.
Seth Meyers.
Jimmy Fallon.
Seth Meyers.
Kanye West and Kim Kardashian are preparing to file for divorce. Well, I hope they'll both take a good long look in the mirror. Oh, they will? Oh, they do that every day? That might have been the whole problem? Okay.
Discovery has confirmed that the Puppy Bowl will go on this year. Oof. Said absolutely no one. The Puppy Bowl is also the one event that brings every American together to think, why?
Damn it. It's Myers or Fallon.
You know it's not me, because I like the Puppy Bowl.
I'm going to go Jimmy Fallon.
Myers.
Jimmy Fallon.
So Discovery has confirmed the Puppy Bowl will go on as scheduled this year. Phew, said absolutely no one. The Puppy Bowl is the one event that brings every American together to think, why?
According to a new study, the top destination to move to in 2020 was Idaho, which explains why their airport was so Boise.
That's Seth Meyers.
Yeah, Seth Meyers.
According to a new study, the top destination to move to in 2020 was Idaho, which explains why their airport was so Boise.
You guys ever been to Boise?
No.
I have not.
Okay. So I'm sure you're like me. If you go to Boise, you'll probably fly Alaska. So here's a little hint. You guys will respect this.
Okay.
They obviously have a couple like lounges or whatever that you can watch sports or whatever.
Sure.
But down by the gate, there's a little kiosk that also sells beer.
Oh, that's good to know. I have some friends that are always trying to get me to go with them to Boise, right? They go to Boise all the time. They enjoy Boise. They even thought about moving to Boise until they recently spent significant time there and decided not to. I'll leave it at that. That was their decision.
I know I've told this story before, but I got to tell it again. So Miles and I have a mutual friend, and his wife's family is from Boise.
All right.
So I'm down there for a Boise State game, pumped up, right? So to Boise's credit, the whole town's out, right? I mean, it is packed. The bars are packed. He's like, meet me at this bar. And I said, all right, man, but it's like super crowded. How am I going to find you? And he goes, I'm with the black dude. And I was like, all right, whatever, Chandler. We walk in. I was like, son of a bitch, there he is.
He's not kidding.
It's like, why are your friends trying to kill you, Steve?
You know what's sad? But
as a white
sometimes that
guy, I
works.
was wigged out in Coeur d'Alene.
I can believe that.
Oh, my God. Hell.
I found Miles at a crowded downtown Chicago bar. Not because he told me he was at the bar. That's all we knew.
It's also 9 o'clock in the morning.
But when I walk in, this place is packed. And the reason I knew I had found Miles, all right, I walk in, and there is the bar floor first, and it's just packed full of people. And then you look toward the bar where you can still sit, and you see the heads of people sitting on bar stools. And there's this one odd spot where there's a human-wide gap, but nobody's there. But you can't quite see over everyone's head. And I said, I know Miles is there because I was with Miles last night, and we both got so effed up. I'm still drunk, from last night when I walk in. I know he is slouched over the bar, and sure enough, I fight through this crowd of people. I get up there. Bingo, there's Miles, slouched over the bar, still working with an hour and a half later on a hamburger.
Oh, my God. Look, just chew, man. You can do it, chew. Everybody
But that's how I found him. I said, look, I know how he must feel because I know how I feel. Therefore, this one empty space that I see must be where he is.
Yeah, and that subway ride to the airport was not fun either.
Yeah, trust me, we've all been there. Like that, especially when somebody like makes you a meal or whatever, and you're just like, honey, I'm sorry, I just can't eat right now.
Yeah, I can have a milkshake maybe, but I cannot chew.
Can you make a protein shake?
Can you put the burger in the blender?
Chewing his energy.
All right, so Pat Sajak and Vanna White, they've been working together for years, right? I don't know why this article says this, but it says, sure, they've never smashed.
Why does it say that? Why does it say that? All right, quick. Do you think they've had sex? I'm saying yes. And only because, not because I'm thinking anything untowardly, but by their own admission, back in the day when they recorded the show, because they're pretty tight, man. They've been together for a long time. They would admit that they would get hammered at the bar and then go in and tape, 5-10 episodes or whatever.
5
they do.
a day.
Right, so 5 a day. But they would show up to smash, day drinking and all that, because they have fun together. They would there's no way that you get drunk together all these years, right? And they didn't just smash it at least once. At least
I don't know.
once, man.
I mean, look, I could believe it either way.
I don't think it's something they do. I don't think it's something they actively look for. I'm saying in the amount of time that they have worked together on that show.
4 decades.
40 years.
Yeah.
And they get messed up to get used to, anyway, back when you could run a little harder, right? And your body could take it. They were getting drunk together. There's no way, just even as a joke, like, let's F in the dressing room and then walk out there reeking of sex, before we do the show.
I mean, granted, they started in 1982, so I don't know what their marital statuses were back then.
That's not funny, Mike.
It doesn't matter. He's still pink polo at the beach guy.
Yeah.
You can't take the East Coast out of
I'm telling you, that at least once.
So I don't know why it's in there. So Vanna says they never fight, right?
Okay.
Now, the reasoning behind it, honestly, is quite genius. She says she thinks it could be because, quote, we don't see each other for 2 weeks at a time, and then we see each other for a couple of days, and then we don't see each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're happy to see each
Why
other.
would you fight?
You're my fun buddy, right? We're getting drunk, having sex, Ted. We're having sex.
See, that leads me to believe they haven't had sex because they're not fighting.
Not only that, but they work.
You generally only fight with women you've had sex with.
I agree, but I think with them, and back in the day, like when you read how they kind of rolled back in the day, I think they probably just could have had a great time with, and not cared.
Ted, if you could give me a gig where we meet 4 times in a month,
All right.
And get paid all that money. And that's all we work. I'd have sex with you in a hotel room every one of those weeks.
I didn't ask for that.
I know, but I would give you that.
No, but it's going to happen.
That's what I'm saying.
Here's the problem, Ted.
I work 4 days a month because of you paying me millions of dollars. Oh, yeah, man, I'm hooking you up.
So that's it, Ted. I can get you a job. You work 4 days a month. Get paid millions of dollars. You're going to be beloved by everyone in America. Miles going to have sex with you.
I am. I'm going to service you. Thank you, Ted. Thank you, Ted.
Honestly, it sounds like,
as best as I can.
It sounds like a great gig. Hell, I'm in.
Yeah, right?
I'd be like, all right, dude.
I'd do it.
Let's just get it over with.
Mike Thoreau, good luck.
They're having sex and making money.
My God. They only have to work like a 6-hour day.
That's what I mean. Why wouldn't you have sex? Like, we're not going to see each other too. No strings attached.
Vanna White, by the way, 63.
Really? All right, good for her, man.
You have to remember when they say we tape. Basically, what they do is this: Pat lives on Gibson Island in the Chesapeake Bay.
All right.
He flies to
by Mel.
Yeah, he flies to Hollywood. Vanna works and lives out there. They tape on a Saturday. They do 5 episodes on Saturday.
That's
a
week.
5 episodes on Sunday.
Now 2 weeks are done.
Now 2 weeks are done. You have to remember that these half-hour programs are also only 17 minutes long.
Right.
They're filled with 13 minutes of commercials.
Absolutely.
So it's not even like you're taping an entire half an hour. Then the winner, or whoever, they go back, they bring in the new contestants. I don't know if the winner stays on that show like Jeopardy, but either way.
When you win, you're out.
All right, well, in Jeopardy, they do the same formula. They just change suits.
But that guy comes back.
Comes back
bring
out,
a change
bring
of
it to
clothes.
They just bring, 3 more people out, and away they go again.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm that person. I'm like, they probably just had a lot of fun together.
I think they did, and some of that fun was sex. I cannot confirm that. This is just my speculation, because that's what I would have done if my co-host was Vanna White. Like, hey, man, we're getting drunk together, right? They admittedly said, look, we would get lit up, and then kind of as the inside joke between the two of us, go out there and do our thing. Because Sajak's like, all you got to do is flip the letters, and they light them up for you, right? So just don't screw that up. And when you really watch Pat Sajak, all he does is make small talk. And then say, hey, we have 2 ends. That's it. My job's not hard.
Vanna doesn't really talk. She just waves at the end.
Mm-hmm.
She makes a joke at the end with Pat.
At the very end. Right.
What the hell am I doing in radio?
Mm-hmm. Good night.
Jesus. Pat Sajak. I'm great at small talk.
Dude, they have the gig. They have, and Wheel of Fortune now look, Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy, they're like the 2 game shows, right? You put them on not quite prime time, but your 7 to 8 o'clock slot. Think about how much money they generate, because if you are a smart advertiser, you would advertise during their shows. And how little money both of those shows actually pay the winners. Those shows make bank.
Yeah.
Because the average Wheel of Fortune person probably walks out with maybe 12 to 20 grand on average when they leave. They made that in the first 15 seconds of the first commercial break that they had.
Yeah.
I mean, millions of dollars is poured into these shows.
I will say this.
Nothing.
I think the only other game show consistency that's as popular that you could put on that level is probably The Price is Right.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
Because it's
now,
always
Bob
been around.
Barker, I'm sure he tried to have sex with Vanna White all the time.
My understanding about Barker is if you were one of the, what do they call them?
Barker's Beauties?
It's in the name.
Right.
And the word is that,
right out of Diane Parkinson's mouth.
I mean, yeah, basically, I had sex with Bob Barker, and we all did, because that's what we did.
Rumored.
Barker's Beauty's pretty good. I'm trying to think what I'd call my ladies if I was hosting a game show.
Ted's. we know.
Is there another T word? Ted's taters? No.
Yeah, no, close.
All right, there's some football.
Ted's testicles. You have a bunch of dudes in banana hammocks. You know what I mean?
Ted's testicles.
Hey, listen, for those hours, that amount of money, I'm in.
Right.
Testicle, will you flip over the board, please? Obviously.
Ted's testes.
Like, you imagine you go to a gym and there's just this giant ripped dude. It's like, man, you're in here a lot. Like, do you work? Yeah, I work. What do you do? I'm a Ted Testicle. Number 4.
Oh, my God.
No,
that's
are you
amazing.
right?
Can I get a selfie?
Are you right or left? I can't remember. I'm sorry. I'm afraid to ask. Oh, you're the one that hangs lower.
They call me Sweet Cherry.
Obviously, there's some big football games on this weekend.
Yeah.
Do you know what weekend this is in the football playoffs?
You mean what it's called?
Wild Card Weekend.
Yeah.
Super Wild Card Weekend.
Why is it Super Wild Card Weekend?
Because there's 3 games on each day.
Yeah, that's never been done.
Right. Trust me. It took me a couple weeks to realize. We were like, why do they keep calling the Super? So I kind of walked you into that one just to be like, no, it's Super Wild Card Weekend.
So what are the games? I know when my team plays, but the times and days of everyone.
All right, so Saturday morning, 10 a.m., you got the Bills hosting the Colts over on CBS.
Thank you for playing, Colts.
After that, you have your Seattle Seahawks hosting the Los Angeles Rams. That'll be on Fox.
What an exciting game. Can't believe the Rams lost.
And then the nightcap will be on NBC, and that'll be the Washington football team, even though they have a losing record, but they won their division, hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Ooh. Goodbye, Washington.
Yeah. Tell you what, though, you got to watch out for Chase Young. Go Stacks.
Well, on Tampa, you have to watch out for everyone.
I'm just saying, I think Tom Brady, if you rock him hard in the first quarter, look, here's how it goes. Either Washington, I think you can argue, has the best defensive line in the playoffs.
In the playoffs, yeah.
So if they can get to him and rattle him early, they'll be okay. Now, if Tom Brady goes out there and just lights it up in the first quarter, it's going to be a blowout.
They're saying all the Buccaneers have bronchitis. Did you read about that? Apparently, Gronk is so positive they have their own term for being around him. Like, he's infectious. You know, when Carroll
you're serious?
When Carroll brought back Luke Wilson because he was just that positive, fun guy and just a great player. Well, he says he's infectious. You know what I mean? He's just got this.
So they have bronchitis.
So yeah, down in Tampa they got Gronk. Everybody's got like, bring it. He's infectious, man. You're just happy to be around. You want to work harder, and they call it bronchitis. I caught a case of the bronchitis.
Sunday morning, 10 a.m., you have the Titans hosting the Baltimore Ravens.
Let's go!
Actually, I'm with you. I think the Ravens win that one. After that, you'll have the New Orleans Saints hosting the Bears over on NBC, and the nightcap will be the Steelers hosting the Browns on NBC.
Let's just hope for some good football games and entertaining ones, games that are close over the weekend.
I think most of the games will actually be good, with the exception of the Bears.
You know, Seattle's going to give you a heart attack if you're a fan.
Of course. I mean, that's
what they do all year.
I'm with Thrill. I think the Saints kick the crap out of the Bears. I think the upset is probably going to be the Browns over the Steelers.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see that, though.
The only thing we're really missing this weekend is how ridiculous would the Raiders lose if they played anyway. I think that's the one missing piece of the puzzle. You know, they should just let them play any random team just so we can see how ridiculous they lose.
We're also missing Scott Hansen. It's going to be a tough one.
You know what, man? I got to be honest with you. I miss me some Scott Hansen.
Also, if you're going to watch something tonight, it's going to be a tearjerker, but if you're a fan of Jeopardy, you probably want to see it. That'll be Alex Trebek's Finals Jeopardy.
Yep. Thank you, Ted. We appreciate it. You're listening to The Men's Room.
New on Curiosity Stream, she was a loving wife, a devoted mother. She also stole atomic secrets and gave them to the Soviets. Meet the woman whose deception kick-started the Cold War on the spy who stole the atom bomb. And
what if they catch you?
Then I shall be shot.
They're coming! Come back!
relive history's most death-defying escapes. It's Impossible Escapes, Civil War. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit CuriosityStream.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Oh, drat. I was driving along minding my own business when that vulgar leech hit my Beamer with his pickup truck. I fear I've fractured my clavicle.
I say, old boy, don't simply put it in the hands of your insurance company to sort it out. Talk with the dedicated row of solicitors at the Advocates Law Firm.
Pipe down, you old sod. The Advocates will see your case through to the bitter end and won't sleep a fortnight until they have victory in their grasp.
Jolly good, old man. Jolly good indeed.
You get injured, the Advocates get results. AdvocatesLaw.com.
Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
Oh, here we go. Pittsburgh police called in for a domestic find instead. 10 moving boxes full of weed.
Instead.
Unlucky burglars, by the way. Bud dialed 911 and cops get there before they could flood. 67-year-old drunk man attacks utility workers with a bobcat. Man sets world record chugging Jack Daniels. Yes, I bet he's in a frat. And a woman learns a marble slab in her horse barn is from ancient Greece. It's time for your headline.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my car.
All right, top story. We go to Kansas, where a video of a biology student online is raising eyebrows as he believes he's broken a record. The video is of a party where our subject is standing on a table hyping a crowd with a full 1.75-liter bottle of Jack Daniels in his hand. He then proceeds to put a straw in the bottle used for better airflow, and then does a power chug of the entire bottle in roughly 18 seconds, which he believes to be a record.
Yeah, I mean, we watched it, and it could have been apple juice. Because Mike said, man, there's just no way you can do it. Your body, whether you wanted to or not, revolts. Then I pulled up the next video of the guy trying to chug tequila.
Right.
Which, in my mind, to be an easier one, dude took maybe a fifth of the bottle down before he just starts projectile vomiting.
Right.
Yeah.
The problem with this is these people influence people.
Exactly.
So, whether he was faking it or not is irrelevant. What is relevant is if someone else tries to do this.
Exactly.
It might not end the same way.
And he actually, in the interview, did say, I acknowledge that other people might try this. I fully recommend that they do not. I'm telling them not to. He also says, I also know that they're going to do what they're going to do, and that's not in my control.
It's actually a fair statement, because that's the best you can do. Remember when Jackass was on?
Oh, absolutely.
You put up disclaimers like, don't do this. And nothing they did is anything I wanted to do. And people still tried it, but it's one of those like, look, there's people that are going to do it.
Right.
But try not to follow suit.
Now, he was also saying that this was not the first time that he had done this. He said that was partly his concern, is that just, some 22-year-old who had just taken a few shots from time to time on the weekend was going to start upending 2-liter bottles of Jack Daniels.
I can beat him, right.
Right, to give it a shot. He'd been warming up to this, and he said that he was going to stop doing it, so maybe it's possible that it really was, but I personally don't believe that the body will allow somebody to just straight chug 2 liters of alcohol, which is virtually poison to the human body. It's
not virtually poison. It's straight up poison.
Right.
It's a neurotoxin, right? But that said, next week, Mike's going to give it a try.
Correct.
Yeah, I was going to say, we've done some good drinking, but, that's one of those lines where you see somebody, it's like, don't chug a bottle of liquor.
No.
Well, right, because even if you do it successfully, congratulations, but within 3 minutes, you're going to be drunker than you've ever been.
Right.
5 minutes after that, you're going to pass out. Then they're going to see if you die.
You know what?
Yeah.
I will chug that 2-liter bottle of Jack right here on the air. No video going on at all. We're not going to record it at all. I'm just going to straight chug it right here on the air.
Already successful.
Everything okay, Mike?
In other news, authorities in Pennsylvania have issued a warrant for 2 people in Pittsburgh after a call about a domestic dispute. Police were called to their residence for the dispute, but while searching the house for one of the 2 residents, they came across a box that was believed to contain marijuana. Moving on with their suspicions, they obtained a warrant and revealed that there were indeed 10 moving boxes loaded with vacuum-sealed packages of marijuana. They're currently hunting the 2 down.
It's weed. Don't worry about it so much.
Yeah.
I mean, I hear what they're saying, and I know you got a job to do, but it's weed. It's all right.
It's a lot of pot.
It is a lot of pot, but look, even if you hand deliver that much pot to one person, they're not going to smoke that much pot before they fall asleep. That's the beauty of weed. The worst thing that's going to happen is they pass out.
That's right. A Minnesota man is in custody for attacking utility workers. The crew was working on a cell tower in the area that apparently frustrated the man. He has such an issue with the crew being there that he got into his Bobcat skid steer and charged the equipment.
I'll shoot them.
The man not only attempted to flip the equipment the utility workers were using, but their work trucks as well.
That 5G, it's messing with my brains.
Police were called.
Not my moonshine.
And it was determined that the man was indeed under the influence at the time, so he was hit with a few charges.
Oh, it's not the 5G.
It is, in fact, the Yukon Jack that I was
You
considering.
mean I did this to me?
I love how they do tag a DUI charge when you're working just a little piece of equipment out there.
Oh, yeah. You're driving.
DUI doesn't cover just the roads, man. If you were behind the wheel of an engine or a horse we've found.
Done, yeah.
All right.
Or a bicycle.
Or a bicycle.
A lot of people in Florida get BWIs.
That's crazy.
Boat, you name it. If it's moving, you're in control of it. It's on you.
It's never good to implicate yourself while in the middle of a crime, but it's even worse when you did it by accident. Emergency operators received a call of a burglary in progress, but were amazed to find that it was actually coming from one of the burglars themselves. Thanks to an unfortunate pocket dial, the dispatchers were able to hear the crime in its entirety, including the moment that officers moved in to apprehend them. When you're in the process of robbing somewhere, I would think that you would just leave your phone at home.
Why would you bring your phone?
It does have tracking on it. Knows where you are.
Exactly.
So that's the first rule.
You might drop it. You might be stupid and butt dial. I mean, leave your phone at home when you're going to commit a crime.
Look, if you're going to tell people that you weren't there because you were at your sister's house, guess where the phone goes?
Exactly.
Your sister's house.
Right. You best plan it there.
I had to hire a woman to play the role of my sister just so I could say that to the cops every time.
Yes.
Well, we got a ping. You're in fact at your sister's house, even though this woman is clearly not your sister.
Again, you know what? Go ahead. For every place that you rob, you go ahead and bring your cell phone to it. You knock your cell out.
I think some people are they just don't think. They just left the house and grabbed his phone.
Right.
I mean, I'm with you. If I'm going to go rob a place, I'm going to think it out a little more.
But we put thought into it.
Yeah.
You know, we're criminals that care.
Criminals that care.
Steve, did you bring your wallet to this robbery?
Oh, hang on, guys. Let's do it tomorrow.
Does it have your ID in it? Doggone it.
Do you need my ID?
To get inside. A vandal in Arizona is making headlines because it's not one that you'd expect. Doorbell security footage shows the victim's front porch as a woodpecker reveals itself in the frame. Woodpecker, Ted.
I know. Sorry, I just wasn't expecting a woodpecker.
Bird. And begins to peck away at the surveillance camera. After the story broke about the pesky bird, multiple people came forward to tell their stories of woodpeckers. Damn it, Ted! Damaging their front door security systems as well.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
That's a thing.
I don't know why. Maybe it's because it looks like a hole in a tree that they can peck at and find bugs in.
They're trying to build a nest, get a worm.
Well, the thing is that would a woodpecker really go after a hole, or would he try to make another hole?
Have you ever seen a woodpecker do his thing?
I have.
He just spins around until he finds the point he wants.
Yeah.
He'll just check everything out and then go for it.
I went right outside my apartment, seeing him every morning.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's got to be fun.
It was great. It was in the woods, so you didn't hear it much. There was a dull thud, but it was just kind of neat. Little tiny birds clinging onto the side of this tree. They go quick, too. It is nuts. I would not want to be on the business end of that beak. And that being said, that is it for headlines. With that, Mike Arkansas, I'm out of here.
We want the Seahawks to win there, but do us a favor. Root for the Ravens, will you? Give us a little help.
Why not?
Yeah, come on, man. You don't like the Titans.
We're pulling for the Seahawks.
Yeah, well, you know we are.
Ravens.
Come on, we'll pull each other.
In the meantime, we be all up out this bitch. Until Monday, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man! A Double Flush production.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too big to fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.